you Huskies and Pups. Welcome back to Music Thursdays with Mr. S. This is week number 5. I cannot believe it has been 5 weeks of not being able to have you guys in class, not being able to do our normal activities. That is unbelievable to me. But I'm having the best time doing these distance learning videos with you guys and welcome you guys back to Music Thursdays every week. It has been awesome, and I have really enjoyed getting to teach you. Even though we can't be together, I'm loving getting to teach you this way, so that way at least we're seeing each other a little bit. And I've loved the Google meetings I've been able to get in your guys' classrooms. So the meetings you guys have been having there, and I've been able to stop in and say hi, see some awesome familiar faces. That has just been really, really great too. So I am super glad to be there. But we're going to go ahead and jump into week 5, and this is going to be part 3 of the William Tell Overture. You remember part 1 and part 2. Hopefully during part 2 you guys were able to get up and do the activity in your backyard. You were able to do the galloping, and you were able to do the cheering, and you were able to figure out each section of the listening map. If you haven't done that yet, go back and check out lesson 2 before proceeding forward to this one. And if you haven't done any of this, if we're coming in at part 3 and you just now happen to stop in, you're like, the William Tell Overture, the galloping motions, what in the world are you talking about? Then, go back 2 lessons. Go back to lesson number, week number 3, and you can check out lesson number 1, and then week number 4, you can check out lesson number 2, and then once you've done that, you'll be all caught up, and you'll be ready for lesson 3, which is this week. So, let's review. We know we've been talking about the William Tell Overture. We know it was written by an Italian composer named Gioacchino Rossini. Hopefully you guys remember that. Do you remember that? Gioacchino Rossini. It's not really a name you hear very much, but it is Italian, and it would have been very commonplace during his period of time. So one of the things we can check out, and I realize that I haven't told you this yet, and there's a reason for that, but the William Tell Overture actually is telling the story, or legend, let's say it that way, the legend of William Tell, excuse me. And we talked about this in class a little bit, is that so much music has been written to tell stories. In fact, all good music tells a story to some degree or another. And many of these classical composers use their music to help convey a particular story. And it has all the elements that you have in some of your favorite books. It has settings, it has characters, it has exciting events that happened during the stories. And so the William Tell Overture is no different. It tells the story and the legend of William Tell. So we're going to talk about that real quick. So the legend of William Tell is this. So according to the legend, William Tell lived in the mountains of Switzerland. You guys know where Switzerland is at? Well, it's going to be right there. You guys see it? Good. And he was known far and wide for his expertise with a bow and arrow. Okay, with a bow and arrow. A long time ago, Switzerland was under the control of Austria and a mean ruler named Gessler. And Austria is in the area of Germany, so it's still in that area of the world, but it's within the realms of Germany. Gessler thought he was so great that the people should salute him even when he wasn't there. He thought even if he wasn't there, he should still be just saluted. He placed his hat on a pole in the center of town and demanded that everyone bow down to it whenever they passed it. So even though he wasn't there, he put his hat on a pole in the center of town, and he demanded the people salute his hat, even when he wasn't there, anytime they passed it. Yeah, my thinking as well. One day, William Tell arrived in town with his son. When he came to the pole, however, he refused to salute it. Gessler was very angry, but instead of killing him, because that would have been an offense worthy of death, but instead of killing him, William Tell challenged him. He told him that he could go free if he could shoot an arrow through an apple that was placed on his son's head. There's a disclaimer here. Do not try this at home. Okay, under no circumstances. No arrows, no apples on siblings' heads. Okay, do not try this at home. But in this story, William Tell did. So, the apple was placed upon his son's head, and William Tell, surprise, surprise, did shoot the apple off his son's head with a single arrow. Okay? Gessler noticed, however, that when removing the arrow, William Tell took 2 arrows out of his quiver. When Gessler asked why he did this, William Tell informed him that if he missed the arrow off his son's head, the second arrow was meant for Gessler. Man, what a guy. What a guy. Right? If he missed, he was going to immediately turn around and try to take out this Gessler as well. So, man, what an archer. So, it's kind of a fun story. It's kind of a fun, interesting story. And when you listen to the music, you kind of get that. Okay? So, let's go into just a little bit of listening questions, and let's just discuss some of the things we heard in this piece of music. And before we do that, let's once again review what this piece of music is. Let's listen to the William Tell Overture. You guys back with me? Excellent. Honestly, I could listen to that piece over and over again. It is so cool. It's just one of those that just sticks with you and has such an energy to it, and it's so exciting. So, I do have a question for you, though. Now that we've listened to this again, what types of instruments did you hear at the very beginning that was playing the fanfare? If you said members of our brass family, you're correct. Okay? Specifically, it was for trumpets and cornets. They were featured in this case. So, once again, that family, the trumpets and cornets, are part of the brass family. We talked a little bit about brass family in class, haven't we? Hopefully so. Now, can you name any other instruments that come from the brass family? Well, we already said trumpet. And a cornet is a type of trumpet. Okay, a cornet is kind of like a smaller trumpet. Okay, but there's also trombone. There's French horn. And there is tuba. Okay? Now, if you're looking at me going, Mr. Schmidt, I don't know what a brass instrument is, then you weren't listening when we talked about it. Or maybe we just missed that day. Either way, it's okay. So, brass instruments, I'll just give you the quick rundown. Brass instruments are played by using one of these. And this is what's called a mouthpiece. Everybody got that? A mouthpiece. Now, you may look at this mouthpiece, and we always ask some of our younger students, well, how do you think I use this? Do you think I just blow into it? I don't think that's going to work, but we'll try it anyway. Now, epic fail, right? And that's because with brass mouthpieces, this is what distinguishes them from woodwinds, is that we don't just blow into the mouthpiece. Okay, we don't just blow into the mouthpiece. We actually use what's called a buzz. And to buzz, we're actually going to put our lips together as tight as we can. We're going to tighten the corners of our mouth, and then we're going to push as much air as we can through a tiny hole in the middle. It's going to make our lips vibrate and create kind of a silly buzzing sound, okay? Let's try this. So make sure that if you try that at home, you either get a napkin or put your hand in front of your face. You don't want to do that in front of little brother or little sister, and then suddenly they have to take a shower, right? You don't want to do that. But what we do then is we take that same sound, that same brass sound, and we put it into the mouthpiece, which looks like this. It looks like we used to call them bird baths. They look like a little bird bath here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same sound that I just did, using that buzzing sound, and then I'm going to put it into the mouthpiece, and you're going to hear what kind of sounds like a duck call almost. cool. Now, we're going to take this same brass mouthpiece and we're going to put it into a brass instrument, okay? And you're going to hear that same sound. So give me just a second. Let me find a brass instrument somewhere around here. Maybe in the garage I have one there. Let's see what I can find, okay? I'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, maybe you're in luck, or maybe you aren't in luck. I don't really know. But I found a tuba. I found a tuba in the garage behind me, right? And it's one of our 4 brass instruments: trumpets, trombones, French horns, and tuba. Like any other brass instrument, it has the mouthpiece we talked about. It also has a bell. Now, this tuba is obviously going to have a bigger bell than any other brass instrument you're going to see. It also has these, the valves that we can play to help us change the notes. We simply depress them in various combinations. So let's see what that sounds like. Right. So you guys hear that buzzing sound through the mouthpiece and into the horn? Wow, that sounds really cool. Now, I'll be right back. I probably better put this away before the neighbors start complaining. They don't always like that sound, so we'll be right back. And we're back. I got the tuba put away. Nobody complained just yet, so I think we're going to be okay for the rest of our lesson today. So hopefully you learned a little bit about brass instruments there. I love being able to teach about those. So let's talk about some other things we heard. So at the beginning, would you describe the trumpets as being loud like a lion or soft as a mouse? How loud do you think they were? Loud? Yeah, I think so too. That big brass fanfare at the beginning was very, very, very loud. And in music, we call that forte. Everybody say forte. Ready? Forte. Excellent. What was the tempo of this? Do you think it was fast? Do you think it was slow? What's that? Fast. Yeah, I would agree with you. Awfully fast, right? It felt like that horse galloping, right? It had really exciting energy. And in music, the term is called vivace. Everybody say vivace. Excellent. Vivace means quick and lively. This is a very, very quick piece, so vivace, right? After the brass fanfare, the horses began to race, and when they first started to gallop around the track in section A, the first time, was it soft or was it loud? You may want to go listen again. You may want to rewind the video and go listen again. Don't worry, I'll wait. Oh, you're back. Okay, great. So what did you think? Yeah, it was quiet. Very, very quiet. It's a double P dynamic we call pianissimo. Okay, everybody say pianissimo. When you say that, you got to whisper pianissimo. Okay, good. Now, in section B, when you had to switch directions, right, when we started kind of slapping our hindquarters, the music gets softer or louder. What do you think? Louder. That's right. Yeah, it got louder the second time. Hopefully you listened to that before or you just remembered it. And that dynamic marking has 2 S. It's what we call fortissimo. Okay, everybody say fortissimo. Okay, good. So the first time it was pianissimo, very, very quiet. And then the second time during the B section, fortissimo, very, very loud. Okay? And in the music, there's a bridge. Remember, we talked about the bridge connecting one section to the other. What instrument do you hear during the bridge? If you said a clarinet from the woodwind family, then you're correct. Right? It's the clarinet from the woodwind family. Quite different than the brass family we checked out earlier. Okay. Can you name any other instruments that belong to the woodwind family? You know any? How about the piccolo? Or the flute? The oboe? English horn? We already said the clarinet. How about the bassoon? Ooh, I love the bassoon. We heard that during Peter and the Wolf. Ba-bum, ba-bum, bum, 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 bum. That was the grandfather, right? And Peter and the Wolf was the bassoon. Okay, what? Wait a minute. Peter and the Wolf. What instrument played the cat? Ah, the clarinet. I'm a cat, I'm a cat, I'm a sneaky cat, and I just can't wait to eat that bird in the tree. Good. So you start seeing how some of these instruments pop up everywhere. Okay? Excellent. I'll tell you guys what, you've done a tremendous job learning this piece and learning everything there is to know about the William Tell Overture. And I'll tell you what, I couldn't be any prouder of you guys, right, for sticking with me through lesson 3. So that is super, super awesome. Hopefully, when we get back to school together next year, next school year in August, we're able to sit down together and really kind of talk about this some more and listen to it again and check out some examples. But for this week, this is Mr. S signing off on Music Thursdays, week number 5, saying I miss you guys. I can't wait till we can be in class together again. But until then, keep shooting for the sky. Bye now.